I'm a tree hugger. I admit it. I love trees. Did you know that any paper products made from trees can be made from the hemp plant? Not only that, but there are tens of thousands of products that can be made from the hemp plant. A plant that grows in all 50 states in different environments, from seed to harvest in 3 to 4 months. A plant that is totally sustainable and sequesters more carbon dioxide than trees. So why don't we see hemp paper everywhere? Why are we still cutting down trees for paper? Why haven't we completely switched over from tree paper to hemp paper? Well, there's a tiny company in Long Beach, California that's trying to make that happen. Let's go see what they're up to. Anyone home?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Stella and I are very happy to see you guys. Welcome to Tiny E-Paper.
My name is Erica Halverson, and I am the CEO and founder of Tiny E-Paper Company. There is hemp paper out there. It's been made for over 3,000 years, and there's stationary companies that are making some of it, but they're not really selling it on a large-scale basis. And that's when Tiny E-Paper was born.
Why don't you come on in?
Thank you very much. I will. I see Stella is nice and comfortable.
That is her chair.
Hi, Stella.
So this is where our entertainment fund happens. Our accoutrement, we are a cannabis-friendly house. Our tunes and our TV. And it's right into the Tiny E-Paper Laboratory. This is where all the hemp paper magic happens, and every proper laboratory needs to have a proper bar.
Ah, yes, and there it is. Very important. I see that it's very well stocked too.
These are my rolls of paper. I love to hug them because they're my babies.
Tiny E-Paper makes 100% pure hemp paper from both the hemp stalks and from the waste from CBD extractors known as biomass. And our mission is really clear. We're trying to get as many people as we can, as many corporations, as many companies, government entities, anybody who uses paper on a B2B level, we want them to stop using trees and switch over to 100% hemp.
Beverages, bags, food, even dog food stuff. I've got cannabis and nicotine, envelopes and mailing packages, price tags. This is like one of the most exciting things for me to look at is everything as it's out. So this is really awesome for me. So what I've done is I've broken things up by categories, and there's a reason why, because every single one proves a different type of concept, and then the meaning of that is to prove how viable hemp paper is for really any type of paper use. It can convert all from trees to hemp.
Tiny E is a nickname that my dad gave me when I was a little girl. And it was a name after a Saturday Night Live skit of Tiny Elvis. And my dad passed away almost 4 years ago. And so it is an homage to my father to be able to talk about him and talk about how he inspired this company, how he's inspired my life as a business person, every single time that I get to say the name Tiny E-Paper.
These are basically miniature versions of what my eventual rolls will be. These were the very first rolls of paper I ever made, which proved my ultimate concept of actually being able to make a commercial roll of 100% pure hemp paper. And basically what I do is I reverse engineer the poop out of anything I can find that's made out of paper. I take it apart, I make a die cut out of it, kind of like a to-go box like this, and then I make it. I take this apart, and it's just finding where all of the cut lines are, because I have to follow the exact same model of how this is made.
It's estimated that over 1 billion trees are used each and every year in the United States to make paper, while 1 acre of fiber hemp can produce as much paper as 4 to 10 acres of trees over a 20-year period.
There's a couple other ways that coronavirus has kind of changed things for us. And one of them is when you go to a restaurant. I recently went to a restaurant, I sat down, and I had this paper bag in front of me, and inside was my fork and knife. So there you go. And then instead of using the cups for your credit cards and for your receipts and your bill, I was given this paper envelope that my bill came in and that I had to put my credit card in when I wanted to pay. So I just took those home, made them out of paper. Other concepts proven is that I can do adherence of display windows like this. So again, if I can't prove that hemp paper can stick to things like this and show off the product, then I can't prove that hemp paper can actually replace tree paper in this manufacturing system. My original intent was to get the entire cannabis industry to stop using trees for paper. And when you go to a dispensary, it is a very clear demonstration of why. In the cannabis industry, we are required to have a ton of paper use for a lot of different reasons, mainly for child-proof requirements and other types of requirements. And so when we're surrounding it by trees that we're killing, we are selling our healing medicine in the most irresponsible way possible. Tiny e-paper takes that away. So how strong is hemp paper? This is how strong. These are 6 full bottles of wine, I kid you not. This is 1-ply hemp paper that is picking up all 6 of those bottles. That's how strong hemp paper is. Here is your Starbucks sleeve. Again, this was a corrugated product. You don't have to have it corrugated. I did a 1-ply and a 2-ply, and they both do work. I used it, I went to Starbucks, ordered a cup of coffee extra hot, and I used it and it worked just fine walking around with it. Did not have to be corrugated. Another concept is proving you can put windows and things in. If there is a window in there, I've got to be able to prove I can do the exact same thing. So there's your pasta box where the window is actually adhered to the box. One of the biggest concepts that I wanted to prove is literally going to change an entire industry. This is the first ever 100% pure hemp tiny e-paper toilet paper. It's a little bit different process than making regular paper, but this is the first generation. And then you can see I can lighten it. This is your second generation. It's not perforated yet. It's also 1-ply. The final revisions and refinement I'm going to have to work with a toilet paper manufacturer on. One of the hardest things to do when you're in the middle of a pandemic and there's a toilet paper shortage is trying to talk to somebody in the toilet paper industry to have them take time off their line to create another type of toilet paper. So unfortunately, due to what's going on in the world right now, TP's on hold, but it's coming, believe me. So the other question I get a lot is on all this paper, I'm using the same type of paper. It's got grains in it and you can see the grains. I did that on purpose for this first run. I wanted people to obviously notice a difference with this paper. I wanted it to garner questions. Why is it grainy like this? What's the difference with it? So it forces the conversation about hemp. Does it have to be that way? Not at all. I can make it as non-grainy. This is very, very thin. You can almost see through it. A little bit thicker stalk. Here's another version with much smaller grains. This is going to eventually be a coaster. And then this will eventually be cardboard, no grains at all, also a different color you'll notice. I can make it light, I can make it not light, I can make it grainy, not so grainy. I can basically customize it to look like whatever you want it to look like.
Part of what really spurred my real need for utilizing waste and really wanting to take over any industry that uses paper is being at the beach and looking around. There is a ton of shit on the beach. And that's really where I got the biggest motivation for trying to take away tree paper. Everybody wants to have a more sustainable paper source. So we've morphed from just a cannabis-specific company into a hemp paper just in general company.
Erica had a meeting with a customer, AG Extracts, who will be using her hemp paper for their packaging. So it was off to McFarland, California, just north of Bakersfield, to visit their hemp farm.
Perfect health. This is actually a perfect plant.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's beautiful.
No nutrient burn.
So how far away from flowering is this guy?
3 weeks, it'll start going into flower.
And I mean lady, I'm sorry.
So the great thing about working with a company like you is that we get to integrate from start to finish hemp materials. I'm Jonathan Payne, president of Ag Extracts. Obviously, we're farming it from the beginning and to finish with finished good products. We get to package with hemp materials from you, it's the perfect solution for a company like ours.
Absolutely. And so that's how I'm creating a self-sustaining business model. And that's really important to me, but I want to take it a step further than that because I'm actually on a hemp movement mission. So there's two other ways that I'm going to involve you in this process. And the first one is you generate a lot of biomass or a lot of waste when you're doing your extraction process. I want to take that waste and I'm going to use it to make my paper out of as well. So any paper you get from me is going to be a mix of the hemp stock and waste, which is fantastic. I'm also going to take any of the leaves and the non-fibrous waste that I can't use to make paper out of, and I'm actually going to make a living soil with that, working with some eco-recycling companies. I'm going to reconstitute that back to farmers like you that I'm already working with. Gives you higher yield, better quality product, gives me better quality product to work with, which gives us better paper. So that's how I'm creating not only a self-sustaining business model, but also a self-sustaining ecosystem.
It sounds perfect, but what's the cost?
Cost is one of the biggest inhibitors of people making the switch from tree paper to hemp paper. And I have made a promise that I'm going to hold within a 30% cost increase versus that tree paper version, whatever it is, packaging, labeling, receipt rolls, whatever. If I can make it as affordable as possible for you guys, that makes more people able to buy my hemp paper, which makes me need more hemp raw materials.
The main barrier to widespread use of hemp paper in the United States is because of the severe lack of a supply chain, both in growing and processing. Most hemp grown in the United States is for CBD, not fiber, two different varietals. So most of the hemp fiber needs to be imported, which significantly increases the cost.
So I started Tiny E-Paper Company by myself, but I have to tell you, I haven't done any of this alone. I could not do it without my #1 partner, Blair.
My name is Blair Lewis. I am the founder of Danks Industries. We are responsible for releasing the world's first smokable hemp wrap under the brand name Canna Wraps and Crop Kings. Upon completion, we decided to team up with the Tiny E-Paper Company to use industrial hemp paper for various applications, from stationery to industrial to packaging. Upon developing Danks Industries, our main focus was on consumer-based products. That's why we were so intrigued to forge this relationship, because now we get to venture off into other applications.
Yeah, and that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to take not just consumer focused and turn it to the B to B to C route, sell all my stuff to businesses like Starbucks, for example, is a great example. Make their paper cups, their napkins, their sleeves, and then get to consumers, because consumers are going to start using that. They're not buying it, they're buying the stuff inside, and then hopefully they're going to ask that barista, why is this different? And that's going to be the education portion that happens too. But that's how I'm going to get into the consumer market, is by infiltrating the B2B channel and then getting to the consumers that are going to be buying that B2B product.
Erica, what's your long-term goal for hemp paper?
Just a little goal. I actually want to take over the entire world and get people to stop using trees and switch over to hemp paper.
It's happening. Hemp paper is being made today, with pioneers like Erica and Tiny E-Paper, Blair Lewis with Thanks Life, and Jonathan Payne with AG Extracts leading the way.